It is my privilege on behalf of the Board of Anderson Interfaith Ministries to welcome you today to this open house and this special press conference and this unveiling of our new Education and Training Center. This is an exciting day for our community. This additional facility on our service campus here at Anderson Interfaith Ministries, we're reminded that we're on mission. This is an education facility, and education is the key in our fight to overcome what one person termed it to me as learned helplessness. And it's a battle that we certainly must win in this community. We certainly want to thank all of our volunteers, the staff, the donors, the many supporters, this generous, incredible community that we have here that continue to contribute their time, their energy, and the resources to this ministry, and particularly to renovate this building here. Because of that help, because of your help, AIM can and will continue to serve this community. And we will continue to give hope and to change lives. We have Ann Thayer with us today, and that's wonderful. We want to thank the members of our legislative delegation, Ann being here. We also, Chairman and Representative Brian White was going to be with us. Courtney's going to be here in his stead, but he has responsibilities in Columbia, and we certainly understand that. We are certainly excited about in addition to this facility, the announcement of a new partnership with DSS, and Director Kohler is here today, and we certainly are looking forward to learning more about that. Together, each of you, and this is important, because we have a very diverse group of our community here, each of you are making a difference in our community, in the lives of our clients, more importantly, in the lives of our neighbors. We just want to say thank you for that. God bless you. Ann?
Well, thank you. I'm very excited to be here. I'm not just here as a legislator today. I'm actually here as a supporter. Most of you here probably know that for many years I served on the board of AIM and was eventually the chairman. What a lot of you may not know is I also worked with DSS as I served on the Foster Care Review Board, and I also served at the local level and at the state level. And I was actually there before Glenn Farrow came to become the director of DSS. And at the state level, I had the whole 3rd Congressional District. So I was familiar with a lot of the directors. And when Glenn came, I saw something really different in him. And he had a passion for DSS, as I did, and I've always had a passion for AIM. And so as I served on that board, I would always talk to the people who came before us, and I would say, you need to go to AIM and get help. You need to go back to school. You need to get in the Women and Children Succeeding program. You need to go down there and get help with your heat, etc., etc. And then I would always come back to Christy and say, they're having these issues at DSS. I really think we could do something. And so that was just me as a person. Now, as a legislator, I see even how important it is as a taxpayer standpoint, because we'll use the human capital that we have at AIM. It'll save us as tax dollars, but most importantly, it's good for our community, and that's what this is all about. So I've had the opportunity to work with both of them. I have a passion for both of these entities, and I am so excited to see them joining forces. It'll be great for us. Before I step down, I just want to say that for all these years, Christy, how many years have you been doing this? 22 years. 22 years ago, I moved into the same neighborhood with Christy. She was my neighbor, and she was so passionate about AIM. I think she had just come here. She had maybe been here 2 years, I'm not sure. And she had such a passion, and it's all she wanted to talk about. 22 years later, whenever we're at dinner, at the pool, at lunch, whatever, it's still all she wants to talk about. Her passion is still here, and it's awesome, and it's contagious. Whenever you think of AIM, you think of Christy King Brock. And whenever you think of Christy King Brock, you think of AIM. And we just appreciate everything that she's done. So on behalf of the State House and the Women's Caucus, I would like to present her with the Woman of Achievement Award. I love this girl. She does a great job. We're very fortunate to have her in this community. Thank you. Wow. With people like that behind you, how can you not succeed? We are just so blessed today that we've had the caliber of board that we've had to support this ministry and to move this ministry forward. And you know, there are not a lot of people that can say that they look forward to going to work every day. And I have some of my staff that says, okay, it's time to leave, it's time to leave. But I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. And not everybody is blessed to get paid for what they love to do. And I am. So thank you all. To introduce to you Director Lillian Kohler. Glenn Farah, who Ann says, when Glenn took over this position at DSS, we started looking at ways that we could partner. So for many years we talked about how can we work together? How can we work together to better serve our community? Well, Glenn called me, it's been well over a year ago now, and he said, we've got a new director. She thinks out of the box, she's progressive, it's time for us to forge that partnership. And so we went and we sat down with Director Kohler. And Ann went with me, and we talked about what we were doing here, and she got excited. And I said to her, I said, we'll do whatever we can to help the community, but my staff has more on them than they can say grace over. I cannot put another job on my existing staff. And she says, I wouldn't ask you to. And she pointed to our Women and Children Succeeding brochure, and she said to me, with programs like these, we don't need to, what did you say to me, Lillian? With programs like these, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And she said to me, how long will it take you to spread this program across my state of South Carolina? It's her state now. Not Hawaii anymore, but South Carolina. So I'm so excited that we met that day, that Glenn brought us to the table together, and that we are developing partnership after partnership to leverage dollars and to have greater impact in this community and this state, and hopefully one day this nation. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Director Lillian Kohler.
I always am a little nervous when somebody describes me as thinking out of the box, because I heard a good joke one time. I'm not very good at telling jokes, but this one stuck with me, and it's that prisons and mental institutions are filled with people who think outside of the box, you know. So this is like, all right, well, I'm still trying to stay on the path of what's known to work, and that's why I shared and I reacted to Christy the way I did when I met her, and that's why I'm ever so grateful to Glenn and Ann for bringing Christy. They came together, they huddled with me when I first got here and let me know about the tremendous assets you have right here in Anderson and what's working. I mean, there is, what you want to do is stick with what works and expand it. And so my reaction to it is, what do you need to grow this as fast as you can? I think of Christy and I think of success. I think of somebody who can make it happen. And when what we're talking about here, we've done a number of new partnerships, and there's one about to get birthed next month as Christy gets the donation of a building that will then be used, I'm sure, for many things, but will also be used to achieve a vision that Glenn had, which was to have a family visitation center for CPS, for Child Protective Services. This is a home-like place where our workers can come and supervise in a very helpful, productive, and appropriate environment families as they learn to, parents as they learn to increase their child protective capacity, their skill sets, so that they can be successfully and safely reunited with their children. Right now, we try to do that kind of supervised visitation in our offices. I mean, come on. I mean, it's not even a realistic environment where children and their parents interact. So that if you're going to observe something, you need to observe something that's more home-like. And that's what this family visitation center is going to be. Glenn was inspired by something he saw in Los Angeles. A soft-spoken guy that you have here running the DSS office serving Anderson County. Soft-spoken, okay? Very different in personality from me and Christy. I think we're cut out of the same mold. Can't stop talking, right? But this guy gets things done. He has a tremendous heart. as Christy does, the partnership makes so much more happen. So one of the things, like I said, keep your eyes open about that family visitation center. But what we've already done in partnership is childcare. Childcare is something we do anyway in the Department of Social Services. We provide childcare subsidies to support people working, basically who or in poverty, taking training or job skill training or taking education and or trying to get a job or while they're the quote unquote working poor. So while they're pursuing a job or education or already working in a job, we support them for a 2-year period of time with child care subsidies, basically because they need to put their children somewhere that will also nourish those children, take care of them, be developmentally appropriate, and help those kids get a good head start wherever they're heading in their lives in a positive way. So it's something we do already. So you wonder, well, what's the big deal then? What is it? DSS supplying child care support to this women's and children's program here at AIM. Well, the big deal is there's a cutoff. There's a cutoff of 2 years. Well, it takes a little longer than that to pursue really the types of career paths that Christy was most interested in focusing her attention on. She didn't want just to help young women with children just get kind of just low-income jobs and go from one short-term job or part-time job to another one, just do a string of low-income jobs. She didn't want them to just be a little more comfortable as they went through their lives struggling in poverty at just a slightly higher level. She wanted to buoy them into the middle class. She wanted them to be well-grounded and have marketable strengths. And so she knew education and training was necessary for that. And it isn't a short-term endeavor. 2 years is not long enough. So I made that open-ended commitment to her that, see, we're going to do the right work the right way, okay? It's nice that there are funding sources from the federal government that provide opportunities for things for limited periods of time, but whatever it takes, we're going to do the right work the right way. Christy, Glenn, your community is already invested in helping yourselves, helping people in need become more resilient and more self-reliant, and so that children don't have to be in cycles of poverty. I applaud this community. We can do so much more by partnering with what you already do. So that open-end commitment is there. We will support your women as they pursue it, however long it takes them, and support them. The other one that we did recently is kind of co-locate in a way. We hired somebody who's a participant in our program into DSS on a part-time basis who works here 4 hours a day to help with SNAP, food stamp applications for people who need them, to help them fill it out or to recertify them for their continuing benefits after a year. Now, what's important about that is this. These benefits that my department gives are not ends in themselves. They're not. And our agency can get real stuck on just thinking that what our role is to dispense the safety net of benefits. But that's the beginning of the conversation. It's the beginning of the work. You stabilize the family and you work like the Dickens to get them out of needing to be there, all right? Get them out. Those who can, find them and help them get out and stay out of poverty. And so that's the work that really we need help with, and this is what this partnership lets us do. And we're gonna, I mean, literally, I've already been introduced to a number of people who have been inspired by Christy and who are working to replicate AIM and this women's program that they have in their community. So you're setting a standard for the whole state. I do want to share with you one little thing right now, because it's real hard for me to contain my enthusiasm when I'm in front of you guys. I want you all to know something, all right? We did it on my drive up here. I'm not supposed to use my cell phone in the state car, but I got a call, and it was from someone important, and I picked it up. We've reached our statewide, wildly important goal that we set for ourselves. We've reached it early. we set a goal to double, to improve by 100%, getting parents off of welfare and into jobs, to double what it was in 2010. So I got here at the beginning of 2011. We wanted to double it this year. We set a goal, 10,120. We're at 10,129 today. Anderson County's 5. They're going to contribute it probably this week, so we're even more. We've already exceeded doubling the number of jobs and positive closures of welfare cases, and that is good news for the state of South Carolina. Okay? Thank you very much.
Sharing a few words with you. Miss Tracy Bowie, who I am so very proud of. Tracy is a former staff member here at Anderson Interfaith Ministries, a graduate of our Women and Children Succeeding program, and she is now the executive director of Foothills Alliance. So I thought how appropriate with the partnership that we're getting ready to do with Child Protective Services, and Tracy now runs an organization that focuses on that, the Child Advocacy Center. And so I thought, well, how appropriate for Tracy to come and share why she thinks this program is relevant to the prevention of child abuse. So, Tracy Bowie. As Christy said, I am a graduate of the WACS program. AIM and the WACS program have a very special place in my heart. In 2001, I decided to go back to school at Tri-County Tech. As a single mother of 2 children. I wasn't sure how I was going to make all my dreams come true, but I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to do it for myself, and I knew I had to do it for my 2 children. And when I was accepted into the WACS program, I knew that that would make my journey a little easier. I was having child care provided for, but also the support and stuff that you get from the WACS program, the staff, and the women that are in the program as well. Many of those I'm still friends with today and still rely on them a lot. So after finishing my education at Tri-County Tech, I was hired on there in the financial aid office. But God was just calling me to do something else. And the doors opened up for me to become a staff member at AIM, in which I did for 8 years, and just in December accepted the position at Foothills Alliance as executive director. I did continue my education while I was employed at AIM, and I just, I had that dream of becoming an executive director of a nonprofit, and today I'm proud to be living that dream. I still wake up in the mornings and think, is this real? And I, pinch myself and say, is this true? Did I really do this? And I did it with the support of this program and this agency. And so I'm just so happy for the partnership that DSS is providing now with AIM, because child care is the most expensive part of the WACS program. And knowing that DSS is going to be there and stand behind the women that are going through this program, and that AIM is not going to have to worry about where they're getting that funding from, and how many folks they can take in because of the limitation on funding. That is going to open up the doors for so many more of these women to go through this program and to make their dreams come true. I look forward to what we are able to do in the future as a partnership between our agencies with Foothills Alliance and DSS and AIM, and just look forward to what we can make happen for other parents in this community. If it wasn't for AIM, I wouldn't be standing here today as executive director of Foothills Alliance. I thank you all for being here and supporting this agency. I thank AIM for what they've done for me in the WACS program and being able to be a part of making my dreams come true. Thank you. I want to thank you all. I know it's extremely hot out here. I want to thank you for taking time. This is a crazy week. So many people are on vacation. I just thank you so much for coming out. I want to recognize a few folks that helped with the renovations of this building. It's amazing that not only this building, but the Women and Children Succeeding Cottage, which we had our grand opening about 2 months ago in that facility, and now this facility, we couldn't have done it without so many volunteers and folks not only donating money, but donating so much of their time. And I'm just going to read this really quick. Tom Cobwell Johnny Hall, Tori Sands, Amy Grant, Eddie Bearden, Susan Palmer, Larry Palmer, Glenn Plumbing, Hill Electric, Shannon and Alex Forrest, Navy Clean Company, Lowe's, SC Drywall, Bonnet's Flooring, Trail Construction, and Susie Palmer. And I can't believe, where's Emmett? He left his wife off, and she spent more hours working on this cottage than probably anybody. And also the staff. Emma Palmer has worked tireless on getting this facility ready to go. And our other staff that worked in putting this event together, I can't say enough about my incredible staff and board. And I thank you all so very much. I want to thank some donors that made this possible. Mr. Bernie Mazik is here with the South Carolina Association of Community Development Corporations. Now that's a mouthful. SCACDC. They contributed to this. The Presbyterian Women USA and the Mary Reynolds Babcock Foundation were some of our largest donors that made this facility a reality. So I hope you'll find some time, walk through the facility, have some cookies and lemonade with us. We want this facility to be used for this community. We want to do a GED classroom here. We want to partner with Eagles and McCoy back there. I see Cal and Dana. We want to use this facility for workforce training. We want to use this facility, Tracy, for parent education. Lisa Fields. We want to use this facility to help our community grow and be better. And so please, if you have professional skills that you'd like to do a life skills meeting for us sometime, say you're the greatest couponer in the world, we'd love to have you come do a class on couponing to help people save money. If you are have great techniques for interviewing skills, we'd love to have you come down. Jason Craddock, if you've got some budget information, or Preston Bruce, if you've got some budget information that you'd like to share with us, we'd love to have classes on budgeting and things like that. So we really want to use this facility for the good of the community, and so I hope you'll all come through and see the facility and have some cookies and some lemonade. Thank you so much for your time today.